Hey everybody, welcome to the latest episode of All2ReelToo.
Oh, I thought you were going to do it too.
Oh, that's fine.
Two.
Anyways, we're weird.
Yep.
So, my name is Michael E. Cullen II, and with me as always is... the marvelous.
There we go. The marvelous Matthew Haas. Come on, that's two. I can't talk about myself like that. I'm just Matthew Haas.
Oh, okay. I was going to call you the marvelous Miss Matt instead of like the marvelous Miss Maisel.
Oh, okay.
No.
Still haven't watched that show yet.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I've heard. Yeah.
I've watched a few episodes. Anyways, so today we have a really cool special episode. We did I should say I did an interview recently with the podcaster, the host of the DeliveryBros podcast, Anthony Anthem. He was really fun to talk to. He's out in Kansas City doing his thing, and he's really good. If you haven't checked out his podcast, I highly recommend you do so. We'll talk a little bit about it in the interview, and it was a really fun interview with him. I did one with on his show too recently, so if you haven't listened to that yet, be sure to check that out and listen to all the other episodes he's done. He does really good interviews with people, celebrities, and just regular everyday people and everything all the time. It's a really in-depth, really cool, fun podcast. Yeah, and anything you want to say, Matt?
No, you said it really good.
Did I?
You did. You delivered.
I delivered.
Very good.
I delivered it well, bro.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, there we go. That. Yes. I need help. I really do, folks. You can recommend somebody for me to talk to. That'd be great. But anyway, speaking of talking, here's a nice little interview I did with Anthony Anthem. So use your ear holes and listen to it, okay? All right, we'd like to welcome Anthony here to the All2ReelToo All2 interview portion of our show. First off, just tell us a little bit about yourself and about your podcast and everything.
Well, first of all, my name is Anthony Anthem, a.k.a. Black Fabio, a.k.a. the Midnight Marauder, a.k.a. Mr. a.k.a. And my podcast is called The DeliveryBros. That's DeliveryBros, which you can find on every major platform, from to iTunes to Spotify to Castbox and any other major platform that does podcasting. Also, so the whole thing about my specific podcast is mine is anything on the table, anything on the menu. That is the motto. That is what I believe in when it comes to having conversation. It's an open discussion from all different types of personalities, whether you are a war veteran, a human trafficking survivor, a pro wrestling promoter, or an actress, an actor, the regular Joe down the street. It's a true platform for true conversation in its truest form, unscripted, uncensored, unrehearsed. So that's a little bit about what I do on my end. It's quite an interesting podcast. I've had a lot of love shown to me, and I show a lot of love back. So it's definitely worth taking some time to check out. Usually an hour show.
Very cool. So where are you guys based?
Based out in Kansas City, Missouri, which is basically middle of the map, Midwest. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm from the city of Fountains, aka Chiefs Kingdom, aka the place to be, Royal. And also we got the Sporting KC as well.
Nice. So what drew you to want to do a podcast?
You know, it's funny. I've been intrigued with the podcast world for the last couple years. like off and on, I would sit down and maybe watch a few podcasts here or there. Like one of my favorites is of course the Joe Rogan Experience and Tiger Belly. I like those two, and of course I like Bill Burr. He has a good one. Theo Vaughn. I like a lot of comedians podcasts. I'm a huge fan of a lot of comedians podcasts. So when I kind of take a look at that, I was always intrigued by the format and like the form of conversation they'll be having with their guests, with each other, and I feel like hey, I like to talk and I love connecting with people, and this would be an opportunity to connect with, more than just, my regular day-to-day basis. And so I was like encouraged by a couple people, like maybe I need to give this a try and see where this goes. So now here I am months later and pretty much like 83 episodes strong now.
Wow. That's cool. Here's a what if question. Like if you could have any guest on your show, like anybody in the world, who would you want to have on the show?
If I were to say who I would want on the show for a good conversation, let's see. That's a good question right there. Jeez Louise. I don't know, because it could be controversial. I'd say the president.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a conversation just to know what he's really thinking about outside of politics, to see what he's like. Because, like, we're getting political version of him. We're not getting actual real him, I don't think. I mean, some of it's real, but I don't think all of it. I think a lot of it's more like a pro wrestling, like, promo. Like, the way he's playing it right now, it's like pro wrestling.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, he does definitely have that controversial kind of like a heel wrestler sort of profile, I would say. Correct.
I mean, you've seen his Twitter page. I mean, you saw the stuff he said about Kim Jong-un last year.
Yeah.
That was basically some pro wrestling rebuttals right there. He was like, "Oh yeah, you gonna try to drop me? Oh yeah, I'm gonna drop one on your head, put you in the power driver of terror."
For sure.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely, I mean, I'm not a big fan of his, but, he's definitely out there when he tweets.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a big fan of him either, but I ain't gonna lie.
Well, I mean, it would be a good interview, though. I mean, I'm sure, because the thing is, like, I don't think he'd probably ever do any podcast.
Oh, hell no. He'd be like, "What is that? What is a podcast? What do I do with this? This is not no, I would not do that." No, see, he wouldn't fuck with a podcast.
No.
That's just why I said he would be the most You know how many people will just sit down just to watch this episode?
Oh, yeah.
If he just said yes to a random podcast. I was like, you can talk about yourself and say how beautiful you are and how great your hair is. Maybe then he'd do it.
Maybe you should reach out to him. Maybe he will do it.
I was like, "Dear Mr. President, you have such great, beautiful blonde hair. You should do my podcast." As I'm crying on the inside. Like, gritting my teeth.
Yes.
It's like, "You have a lovely hairstyle. It's really nice. I'm not dying inside from complimenting you."
So far as you've been doing your podcasts, what has been your like favorite memory so far?
Man, there was one podcast. I decided I was going to smoke a little weed before the podcast.
Okay.
And it was like, I gotta say, it was like in the 30s or something like that. It was like a later episode. I had to be like in the 30s. It was in the 20s or 30s. It was somewhere around there of my episodes. And it was like we had a recurring guest come on. Her name is Lo. And so she was hitting from this pen. And I was thinking, okay, it's just like the liquid concentrate stuff or whatever. I'm like, okay, I'm going to take like a small hit, the liquid concentrate. And because I don't get like super duper baked off of that stuff because, I'm thinking it's fully cannabinoids and all this. I take a hit. It's actually a dry vape. And so I'd say like this giant hit, and then all of a sudden I am stoned out of my mind. I'm like violently high. My whole mind is like just all fuzzy and everything. It's like everything's distorted and everything. And I'm sitting here trying to have a real conversation, and it felt like I was like off. Like, okay, so like let me ask you about this, and let me ask you about that. I mean, I looked at the conversation. I sounded kind of normal, but at the same time, I was like on some like let me unlock the Matrix type of shit. And I was like, never again, no drinking and no weed ever during a podcast. Maybe drinking, but weed, no. Yeah, because I was just like all over the place. The only thing I was thinking about at that time was like, man, do I want to get a pizza or a Taco Bell? I got Taco Bell that night.
Hi, folks. This is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Manager Matthew Haas.
You got promoted?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, anyways, folks, do you like the show Superstore? Well, I don't know. I asked the folks and nobody's answering me.
Because they're not here.
Oh,
but we love
damn it. Yeah, we love it, though. Okay, folks, if you like it as much as we do, you're really going to like the Superstory podcast, which is a podcast where Matthew and I go episode by episode and give our little opinions and thoughts on it. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we don't. Just depends on how we're feeling.
Yeah.
And, so if you like this podcast and like our little crazy banter,
then you should definitely check this out. Or I might get sad. And when I get sad, it gets pretty sad.
yeah,
So
I can't deal with him when he's sad.
no one can really. So
yeah. So check out Superstory Podcast. Right here where you get this podcast, Superstory Podcast.
You won't find a better quantum physicist than Dr. Gra Horatio.
How do you do? I am Dr. Gra Horatio, a scientist.
However, like many of us, he's useless without a good cup of coffee.
Thanks to coffee, I can accomplish more in a week than a regular scientist can in a month, with just as many psychotic breakdowns. It's quite economical in the long run.
You can hear Dr. Horatio and his exciting adventures in the upcoming radio comedy, Magus Elgar.
Visit MagusElgar.com to download your copy today.
So, what advice would you give to anybody who wants to start a podcast?
All right. The real advice I can give you, and this is something I can be honest about. Look, you're going to invest a lot of money in this. Heck, I'm still investing money in this. Mm-hmm. It's a process. You're going to have to build a little bit at a time. I started off in my car with my brother on the road on my phone, on sound.
Is that where the delivery aspect comes in?
Yes, sir.
Nice.
That's actually how we came to be. Now, my brother unfortunately isn't doing the podcast anymore like full time like I am. He does come up eventually. He does actually appear every once in a while, but he's doing his own thing. He's doing his Twitch channel with his boyfriend. It's called Donut and Wolf Plays. Shout out to my little brother, by the way. So you like good gaming streams and you want to see my brother completely fail at playing Sonic Mania, that's the best way to go because it's freaking hilarious when you play Sonic Mania.
Nice.
And also, his boyfriend can't drive because they were playing the Halo collection, the Hero collection, and on the easiest level, his boyfriend drives him off of the cliff 5 times. So that's a little bit about that. Anyways, I just shamelessly plugged my brother on this podcast. My apologies.
Oh, no problem. Plug away.
But yeah, so it started out in my car and doing deliveries and stuff like that. We actually lost the first episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we actually lost the first episode on an accident. So we had to re-record that same day, and then we ended up recording a third one with a friend of ours, and then it just kind of went from there. And then, so, we're doing like 1 or 2 a week, and then it turned into Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And next thing you know, my brother kind of wanted to go on hiatus, so I started doing all the editing for the episodes, and it's taken a lot of time. I mean, it's time consuming. You're trying to figure out how to do what. I had to experiment a lot on Audacity to get where I'm at now. I still got a lot of stuff I can improve on when it comes to my audio.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm always trying to practice. Okay, record, throw it on the internet.
Yeah.
It's not just that. So, because sometimes either some people may not speak in the mic, so then you got to adjust their volume. And it's like, okay, I'm going to get the right amplifier on this. Okay, maybe if I add this. So you're going to sit there for a couple hours trying to just kind of play around with it. And YouTube is important. YouTube helps.
Yeah.
YouTube is a good source on learning how to video. Like if you're doing video edit, or you're doing audio edit. I had a friend who uses OBS when he records his videos and streams. Mm-hmm. I just kind of started testing that out. I got a 1080p camera and I was trying to test it. And so far it looks okay. I'm trying to get better at doing these lives. But yeah, I mean, it's a process. There's a lot of investment in time and money. But if you really push it, you can make some things happen. Just don't be afraid to network either and talk to people. Like me and my man Mike are doing right now. This is network here. Like we're talking to each other, we're getting to know each other. Yeah. We're helping each other out with our platforms because he's going to be on my show. Yeah. So so it's all love at the end of the day, because when it comes down to it, you can't build this on just, one format. You got to be able to open your doors to others too, and not be afraid of it.
Yeah, it's probably an ever-changing media too. I mean, there's new things coming up all the time.
Exactly. You're gonna find shows that are different. Shoot, let them come on your show. A little difference is not gonna make anything hard about it. I got a friend who I got friends in Kentucky, and they do a show, and theirs is more about stoner culture and everything. I'm not really a big stoner. I'll smoke maybe once or twice a year. They're that's their lifestyle, and we had the funniest episode together. And I'm going on their show. Okay, so I think they were one of my favorite episodes. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna get out of what. I don't try to discriminate any opportunity for anybody. So you know what? Also take opportunities, but also be an opportunity too for others.
Yes.
So work together in this community. Do not have a big ego, because I've had a lot of people leave me on red. Messages them wanting to reach out but they didn't want to talk to me because they felt like they had a better podcast.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you can never. I mean, you gotta support each other no matter what business you're in. I mean, I think it's better to build people up than to tear everybody down, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree.
Yeah. And
we got to get in this crab in the bucket mentality, or else you're not going to get nowhere in life. You're not. That leads to a very dark path for those who don't understand.
So, another question. Mm-hmm. What are you currently listening to, watching, or reading at the moment? Like any podcasts, movies, books, TV shows, whatever?
Let's see here. I just got into because some dude on YouTube has been putting all the old DVD ASA episodes up with David Cho and also Akira.
Yeah. So
I've actually been checking it out because I heard it was a very controversial show. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see what people were talking about, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all the episodes started appearing on YouTube by some guy who calls himself Origins of Tiger Belly. It's Steve Lee and Bobby Lee were both on the show at one point. For some reason, it was just we had the origins of this. This is where they came from before they started their podcast. And so it's a wild trip. So I've been listening to that. I've been listening to a lot of music as of late. The new Logic album, Joyner Lucas, and a couple other underground projects as well. So I like a lot of hip hop. That's one of the things I've always been. It's always something I've been accustomed to.
Yeah.
So, and then on top of that, I'm reading this new Batman graphic novel. I need to finish up because I like comics and stuff too. I read a lot of manga, webtoons, watching different things on Netflix. I do a lot of binge watching.
Yeah.
So if I'm not doing one thing, I'm doing the other. I'm on board and doing the other thing. I'm also playing Apex Legends, and then next thing you know, I'm playing Overwatch. So my life, I just try to keep busy and just do other things and try other things.
Nice.
Keep myself in a renaissance flow, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, this is Michael E. Cullen II from the podcast that you're listening to right now, along with
Matthew Haas.
We just wanted to tell you about our great podcast called Super. It's called All2Real. And on that show, what do we do, Matt?
We watch biopics, and then we talk about whether or not the movie matched up with the real story or not.
So
It's a lot more exciting than that, though.
Yeah, so we analyze the real story and the real story.
Get it?
Get it?
Real.
Yeah, they're spelled differently, folks. You can guess which one I said which way.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, so sometimes we have a guest, sometimes we don't. But we talk about great movies like Shattered Glass and The Social Network and Futile and Stupid Gesture, among others. Those are some of the ones that we've covered so far, and we're going to cover a lot more. So please subscribe on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you find your great, fun podcasts. And be sure to share it with your friends.
Do it.
And make sure you're not afraid to get all too real. Bye-bye. One final question that I ask everybody when I interview them is, what is your guilty pleasure movie? Like a movie that you would be afraid to admit to people that you love?
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
It's a good movie.
Right.
Yeah. It's funny. We were actually the last podcast I recorded. We were actually talking about that movie randomly too. So that's funny.
That movie is a classic.
Yeah, that's funny.
It was the comedy was just on point. Because I had never seen Windex used like that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is it's a good. It's an indie film too, which is kind of cool. I mean, it was one of the highest grossing indie films of all time too, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was indie, and on top of that, they got a show out of it. It lasted a season.
Yeah.
They got at least a good season out of it. It was post 9/11 when everything was just kind of going crazy for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I think that show would have came out maybe a few years past that, past 05 or something like that. I think it would have lasted a long time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I never saw this. I never saw the sequel either. I don't know if that's any good, but I'm probably gonna watch it eventually. I'm sure because
it was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't as funny as the first one, but it's funny. I will say that it was watch it. It was worth the time.
I'll have to check it out. So anything else you want to say before we sign off here?
Basically, catch me on all social media at DeliveryBros816 or under Anthony Anthem. You can also find my podcast on Delivery Bros on pretty much every platform from Spotify, iTunes, Castbox, Google Play, Podbean, Stitcher, Anchor.fm.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely put some links in our show notes for that, for everything, so people can find you. Thank you very much for taking time to talk to us today.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, sincerely, and I appreciate you for taking time to talk to me too.
No problem. Okay, and we are back. Hope you guys enjoyed that interview. I know I did.
I did too. I loved it.
Did you love it?
I did. I loved it, yeah.
If you loved it so much, you should marry it.
Well, I can't love an abstract thing.
Oh, that's right. I forget sometimes. Yeah.
I know you do. It's okay.
I know. My name's Mike, by the way. I know I introduced myself at the beginning of the show, but I'm just letting people know that I know who I am. I know I'm secure in myself. I love myself. I love the listeners. Matt is laughing at me.
Because we were supposed to make this serious.
I know.
We can't do it, guys. I'm sorry. So we're just going to keep riffing.
Yes, we will. So, anyways, I love myself. I hope you loved that interview. I love Matt. Mm-hmm. I love you.
I love Mike.
Yes. And we love everything.
Mm-hmm. Everything and everybody.
Yes. And make sure that, you do good things for each other. Mm. This world is a nice and happy place if we make it that way.
Yeah.
That's my advice for today. So Matt, what should people do that if they liked this and love us and love the episode?
If they are all of those things, and they also want to make the world a better place, they could start doing that. Yeah, they could start doing that by liking our podcast on social media.
Yes.
/ sharing it, links to their friends and or followers, whether it be via Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, if that's even still a thing. There's some bullshit called TikTok now, apparently. I'm sorry. Doesn't mean it's completely
It's okay.
trash and app here. But,
It's okay, TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you like to sponsor us, TikTok. Okay, anyway, so
anyways, yeah, or any other kind of social media.
any internet based
if you want to put a
thing,
or if you want to put a bunch of letters together and just hand them to your mailman and send them off to your friends that say, "Hey, listen to All2ReelToo."
Yeah, the old fashioned way.
Yeah.
And also, if you would very much appreciate if you would go to any of the normal places you go to listen to podcasts, whether it be Stitcher, Apple, whatever, just, give us a 5-star rating or a thumbs up or any indication that you liked it, because that will help our ratings and that will also help us get listeners in the future. So you won't be the special few anymore, but your family will grow exponentially. So
you can always be the hipster that was the first one to listen to us.
Yeah, you'll always have that.
Yeah.
So that's, no one can take that away
Are
from
hipsters
you.
still a thing?
They probably are. They might have a different name by now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Post-hipsterism.
Yes, post-hipsterism. Anyways, so do that, and if you like us a lot and you want to wear stuff that has our logo on it and other things, you can check out our TeePublic. There'll be a link to it in the show notes. We got cool T-shirts and bumper stickers and other fun things, tote bags. I don't know.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Maybe a car with our logo on the side of. Wait, I don't think they sell those on there. No, they don't. No,
we don't sell cars, people. So
no.
Maybe like miniature toy cars.
I mean, you might be able to buy something on there that you could put on your car, like a bumper sticker.
Yeah,
and then you can drive around town and let people know that you're cool.
Yeah.
Or that you listen to us. One of the two.
One of the two, yeah.
Yeah, or both. I mean, whatever. So, yeah. Hope everybody has a good evening, morning, afternoon.
Or a timeless type of existence.
If you're in some kind of dimension that time doesn't exist, I hope you're enjoying listening to this.
I hope they're enjoying their existence altogether, because that would suck if they weren't in a timeless sort of realm. But, so hopefully this will bring a smile to their face.
Yes. And have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to All2ReelToo podcast, a Cullen Park production. Produced and edited by Michael E. Cullen II. Music by Matthew Hawes. Subscribe and share the show. Visit us at cullenpark.com.